This is going to.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Today was Jummah.
Yeah, what I did today.
Hectic today, man. Oh my God.
So today's subject, which we have been given by our director, was that how was your day today?
What I did today.
What I did today.
Sounds more intriguing.
More intriguing?
Yeah.
I don't think they want to know everything I've done today.
No?
No.
I hope it wasn't anything that I wouldn't do.
But there's quite a few things I did that you would do.
Okay, so let's fire away then. Let's see what you did and let's see what I did and let's see what Hafsab here did. Okay, because it's really effective when somebody actually tells something about their personal life, because I'm not talking about the viewers here, but usually on national media people are really nosy. That's why certain programs are really famous.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, because people want to know about other people's private lives. Yeah, so we're not going to go too private because of certain data protection rules which we made up for ourselves. But
I've got some interesting stories, so kept me really busy.
Yeah.
You guys start. Let me get the message out to everybody. The podcast.
Okay, brilliant. Hafsa, what did you do today?
Me?
You got up and had a shower?
I got up for Fajr first.
Okay.
Went masjid for Fajr namaz.
Okay, how many namazis?
Huh?
How many? Yeah.
Fajr namaz.
Oh yeah, Fajr namazis. Don't tell them how many namazis.
Namazis?
Yeah.
No, mashallah, in our Jami Rasuliya we do have like around
oh my God,
two lines.
Jami Rasuliya.
Two
okay.
Two
data
lines.
protection?
So, no. We've got our channel called Jami Rasuliya, so it's okay.
Okay, mashallah.
So don't worry about that.
Okay. Do you think in the future we'll be broadcasting Fajr Jamaat?
At Jami Rasuliya?
Yeah.
Need to speak to our Siyasi leader. That's the name for him.
As a chance.
I don't know which one you're talking about.
I'm just tell the viewers, I did not keep that name.
Okay,
we don't know who we're talking about here anyway. So
okay, yeah, absolutely. Right. We're not they can't see your fingers pointing either.
So
on the screen.
now that I've got the message across.
So then I was doing what I was doing today is Fajr namaz first.
Make it interesting.
Then after that, like I mentioned last week.
What time do you go to sleep in the night?
And like I was telling you before, just before we started the podcast, is my son, he's just started nursery.
Okay.
This week. So I have to wake up at 8 o'clock.
Is he happy at nursery?
He's okay.
Okay, so you leave him and he just stays there?
Yeah, he's fine.
Oh yeah, alhamdulillah, yeah.
He's become easy.
He's in his own world, inshallah. Okay.
So he's fine now. So I have to wake up at 8 o'clock.
Okay.
And then after that, I try not to sleep during the day. And I know it's sunnah galula, but even if I have to sleep, I will only sleep like half an hour.
Some people actually ask regarding Kalula. Kalula doesn't mean that we have a 2-hour nap. No. Basically, it means that, even if you're sitting on the sofa and you doze off for a bit, that's a Kalula, yeah?
Well, what it does is, I felt this week is, basically you become fresh.
Uh-huh.
And it's like during the day, you don't feel tired then.
If you have a Kalula?
Yeah, you don't feel physically tired.
Yeah.
But by the end of the day, what happens is that you mentally start to become tired.
Yeah,
but during the day, that physical and mentally getting tired by you having that half an hour, whatever.
What time should we have a Kalula? Like lunchtime?
Straight after Zohar. In China.
Well, we shouldn't eat and sleep, should we?
In China.
As they do in Pakistan.
I did this for my business management degree.
Okay.
One of the tips of having a successful business, right, and one of them was
to go to sleep for a bit.
In China, they do that. For example, every single person, I think it was in Hong Kong or wherever, Beijing, they have this law for the whole city that every single person, whoever's going to work in the for their businesses, big businesses, they have to do a contract of 10 hours every single day.
Sleep.
Right? Yeah, and then within that, they have to sleep 2 hours.
MashaAllah,
I think 2 hours is quite a bit.
But in
no,
China,
they
personally do so as well.
They have lunch as well, so they have a 2-hour break, but they have to sleep in that as well.
But like I said again,
not everyone could do that.
Like in Pakistan, you don't have lunch and sleep because that's what they do in Pakistan, and no wonder they got tummies out there. So that's one important thing.
More tummies here.
Huh?
You got more tummies in the UK.
Seriously, or maybe you have more benefits here. So more softer sofas we can't hardly get up from. So in China they got national law now that children are only allowed to have 1 hour of internet.
Have they?
Yeah. Wow, what a law! The parents can't do it.
I would not push it past them. I'm sure they're able to do such things.
Yeah, no, I've read
this is why they're so successful. The whole point of such laws, I believe, would be discipline.
Oh yeah,
that's all it is.
Yeah,
I mean, for any successful, even millionaires, used to read about their stories or their biographies. Or, you know, I know I follow a few pages where they constantly send out stuff. I know common habits, traits between millionaires.
And less screen time.
Yeah.
One of the main things you would take out from there is discipline.
Yeah.
You know, when we did a few weeks ago, we did the benefits of being religious, or what was the subject along those lines, wasn't it?
In the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of being religious
In this life.
One of the things I mentioned was discipline.
Yeah.
Islam teaches you a discipline through your salah, daily 5 salahs. It gives you a structure, time to wake up, time to sleep, time to take breaks. Similarly, all successful people have discipline in their life.
Yeah.
From the time they begin the day, normally they will begin the day way before everybody else has.
Hold on, I'm trying to relax this evening.
They
Talking
wake
about
up.
discipline.
They wake up
Yeah.
easily 5-6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Not
Oh
because
dear.
of any religious duties, obligations,
Yeah.
but because they want to be ahead of the people. When people are waking up for 8-9 o'clock, they've already got 3 hours of work done.
Yeah.
So they're ahead of the community, especially those that do
I-
forex exchange and they
I
do.
watched a video online. There's a doctor from Pakistan, and he's very good in social life.
Yeah.
So he's a doctor for social people. He's a medical doctor, but he's very good on this side as well.
Okay.
Someone asked him, we always talk about time management. What is time management? And he said you need to think it from the opposite way. If you think time management is that at certain times I need to do this thing, he goes, don't think it like that. Think it, okay, if you've got your work starts at, for example, 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Before 9 o'clock, what can you do? All of the activity that you can do, try to fit them in before 9 o'clock. So after 9 o'clock, you're free.
Right. Okay.
But they take it the opposite way.
You know,
optimizing-
sometimes when we talk about stuff like this and the kind of world that we're living in now, you know, with social media and people just want to relax on their soft sofas and, you know, have a cup of coffee and go on the media or any screen. And, you know, when you talk about discipline, it doesn't go down too well. So perhaps we need to
you know, we
take a
mentioned
step
last
back.
week, we were talking about the example you were wanting to give was how to maintain spirituality in a toxic environment.
Yeah.
My response to that was, look, discipline. From a start with slow little actions. Yeah, baby
small
steps.
Yeah.
Small baby steps that will keep building until you have a routine. You are able to maintain it. Once the maintenance is there and you're able to have istiqamah upon that, even taking bigger steps would seem fairly little. Whereas somebody from outside would consider, wow, look at his routine. I take my inspiration, for example, from my father. His routine has been for the last 20 years that I've seen, at least in my understanding. He wakes up for tahajjud, for jokes. He doesn't even have to make an effort, and he's up. Then he's writing. He's wrote his tafsir and now the Sirah and Sharh of Abu Dawud and Sunan Ibn Majah and all these books he's written. His optimal time is that early morning time. When everyone's asleep, he's at his optimum. So, you know, when you look at the millionaires that I was talking of, they process all the hard work, all the effort when everyone's asleep. They've put all the hard work in. Yeah. When people are awake and offices are now opening, whatever phone call things they need to make, everything's structured, everything's like A, B, C, D I need to do. My father, if you look at his books when he's writing, his left hand side is where he's writing, on the right hand side he has notes. And every morning, before going to sleep, he'll jot down the things he needs to do. As simple as A, B, C, D, I need to make this phone call, I need to meet him, I need to do this.
Yeah.
It gives you a structure to the day. These are things, activities I need to do. But that morning time is his optimum time. So after that, he'll be up till about 9-10 o'clock. He's writing for those good 5-6 hours. And when he's completely mentally, physically drained, he'll go to sleep.
Didn't I suggest that to yourself to have like some note on the phone or some note on a piece of paper? Do you remember?
I have it in my mind.
Oh, come on.
I'm not so good with the
No,
phone.
no,
I
no.
hate to use the phone.
I have complaints.
I personally hate to use a screen.
Yeah.
I know people have their diaries and everything on there.
Yeah.
But I can't. Because
You know,
for one reason, medical reason, I'll share. I was diagnosed with migraine of the eye. So my eyes are highly sensitive to LCD screens and stuff.
Right.
So if I was to wake up in the morning and first thing I do is look at this,
Yeah.
I know it's triggered a pain in my eye, which will keep building, and by midday, it's going to hit in hard.
Oh dear.
And I'm going to have it all day long. So I completely avoid the phone as much as possible.
I've got a pen and paper. So what I do is I have a paper at home on the dinner table, and every time I sit down, not that I eat all day, but every time I sit down
But you do spend a
to
lot
do
of time
some
on the table.
work,
I know you do.
I do. I'm a table guy. So basically, it's there and it's right in my face, and it's like, got to do this. So I prioritize working to 3 piles. Number one, not urgent at all. I can do it next year, no worries. But I have to do it one day before I die. The second pile is the one which is not that urgent, but I should do it as soon as I can. And the first one is do it right now, like emergency, today sort of thing. Now, the problem is I may be able to do that, but I can't really make my family do that. So they have their own ways of doing it. Like one family member is like, I'll do it in my time, which is so irritating to me, because I worked in an office. That particular person never worked in the office before. So taking
This
it
is why
easy.
you're still not table till today?
Yeah, absolutely.
Office life is embedded in you.
The other thing which I did today was I was walking around some grounds of a certain building, some green and some rocky, and basically I didn't want to stand and talk to somebody. I wanted to carry on walking. So the reason for that was obviously, the weather's a bit strange these days. You don't know whether it's going to rain or shine, and even BBC weather are getting really confused. So I thought that I'm going to make the most of the day. What I found is, when I'm on my feet, I can think better. So like, for example, when you ring me, I suddenly stand up and I have the mobile phone on loud and I'm walking around. I'm not sitting down unless I have to write something. I'm not sitting. And so though I'm a table man in that sense, in the sense, I'm like anti-table in the sense, when
Some
you
people
are doing
have
exercise.
Such others.
Yeah.
It definitely works.
Yeah, that. I mean, there's a guy who, another relative of mine, so every time he's talking on the phone, he's scratching himself. He's been told off many times. So
if it makes him think hard.
Think hard. He thinks better when he's scratching himself. Other people, when they're sitting down, first of all, I thought is maybe some kind of a problem, but they keep on moving their legs. When they're sitting down, and it helps them think better. I don't know whether somebody said, it's makruh to do that, but I've never read that anywhere.
No makruh, but I remember reading somewhere it's a sign of anxiety.
Anxiety, yeah. But
so that's the way they get over.
Our manager, when I used to work for a certain company, used to say that a certain amount of stress is healthy because it makes you work. Yeah. So as long as the Prophet ﷺ said the worst of all illnesses is worry. So we don't worry, but we have something called healthy stress. It makes you want to, go further and faster.
The viewers, there's a book which I downloaded online. It's called The Productive Muslim.
Oh yes, yeah,
It's got a lot of very good views about this book. If you want what you're saying, discipline in life, staying away from stress, having a productive life, we should read this book.
Is there something on video? Because I mentioned a book to somebody early on today. Actually, it was the Ihya. And I said, I used to read books. So the thing is there something online?
Videos as well.
Yeah.
Videos as well. Like I watched a video the other day and I sent it to 3 of my friends. Very inspirational. The guy had cancer in his throat. He had 3 tumors. Not 1, 3 of them in his throat. At the age of 8. And the doctor said by 12 he will die. But he didn't. He kept fighting. His mom helped him as well. And he said one inspirational aspect of my life was my mom, because whenever my mom would speak to the doctors and then I would ask my mom, okay, what did the doctor say? And my mom would always say, the doctor said everything will be fine.
Okay, yeah, I got that. The thing is, inspiration is important, and people around you are very important as well. Regarding what I did today, one of the things is, I did say hello to a famous MP, and and also there was some neighbours who moved in. And they were not Muslim, white neighbours. They moved into the area, and so I'm usually expected in the neighbourhood to go and say hello to anybody who comes in new, which was nice. So the thing is, there are some pleasurable moments in our lives which we may consider to be work, but they're actually pleasurable for us. One of the problems that we find, and it is like a growing problem because of laziness. The Prophet ﷺ used to ask protection from it every day.
a'udhu bika min al-ajzi wal kasl.
Yeah, absolutely, mashallah, ameen. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala save us from this disease, because some people, laziness. Yeah, a lot of people, they just leave jobs for the next day. I mean, we were told when we were kids, even by grandparents, don't leave a job for the next day.
Aaj ka kaam kal par mat chhod.
Mat choro, absolutely. That was granddad. So, the thing is, we find that these days people are just leaving. Even youngsters are leaving jobs, because what are they doing instead of that? Obviously, we know social media and the rest
of course, takes up a lot of time. Even when you're flicking through the same, for example, if it's Instagram or Facebook.
Yeah.
You're just scratching that phone for hours and hours. Even the phone's like, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but you're still there, just scratching away. Okay.
Yeah. And if you scratch it too much, you have to get a new one, and you will do.
And so that does take quite a bit of time, and you don't realize how much time it's taking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can just check now if you ask.
Yeah, there are options now. Yes, there is.
You ask the viewers to go onto your phone, open settings, right? And settings, search battery. Just search battery.
Okay.
I'm doing it right now.
Right?
Let's see.
Search battery.
Okay.
Right. And then go down. It just says there.
Battery information.
Oh yeah. How much
how much you've used?
That graph.
Information.
How much you've used in the whole day?
Well, let me look at yours. Wait a minute. I'm gonna look at this, guys. All right. What happened there? Why is there a dip there?
That's before charge.
Is that when you snoozed off?
No, before charge.
Oh, before charge.
Yeah, and that dip is I haven't used it. That's like I haven't used it. I mean, I was sleeping.
Yeah.
At that time.
You were sleeping. Yeah.
You get.
So how much have you used? You got 8 hours.
8 hours.
See, I told you I'm not a user. 3 hours and 6 minutes.
Mashallah,
compared to 8.
That's good going.
Yep.
Yeah. I mentioned this on Juma as well. Time management. What people don't understand is that these phones have been used so that we use it again and again and again. We have notifications, stuff like that. There's a documentary me and Hafizah watched at Ran's house about these phones, that how addictive they've been made.
Yeah.
They're made addictive, and then this is where it links in.
For example, you have this
laziness, time wasting, no productivity in your life, right? Be feeling dead all the time. Right.
But if an individual is fulfilling his duties, let's say he's working, he's fulfilling his rights of his self, his people that he's in proximity with. If after that he uses his phone for, let's say, half an hour, for him, if he considers it to be relaxation, then I guess it's good for him. But when it becomes an addiction, and how do you know it's an addiction? It becomes an addiction when you know you're not fulfilling your duties. Yeah. When you know you're having to check your phone every time you sit down. Yeah. Every time you make a move.
Every time you wake up.
Every time you... waking up...
Every time before you go to sleep.
Before you go to sleep. Or before you go to sleep, you're spending good 15-20 minutes. Yeah. When you wake up, the first thing you're doing is 15-20 minutes.
Whenever you're having coffee or tea,
when you're using it whilst you're driving.
Yeah.
Your life's at risk, but you're still using your phone. You know that's become an addiction.
Yeah.
When you are not, for example, I give this example often where you're.
In the Battered halal.
Oops.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go that far. I don't think anybody would use it in the bathroom.
Yeah. No. People do. Yeah, I know people
do.
Yeah. I banned some youngsters from taking their phones to the bathroom. Yeah.
I remember there was this. I was just told an electrician. He was to put up LCD screens.
Oh yes.
Yeah. He put up LCD screens in bathrooms as well. People actually now have LCDs in bathrooms.
Serious.
Ajib.
Wow.
Ajib.
Okay.
Going back to discipline, baby steps. If you all start taking towards, let's say, if you're using phone, you're a heavy user, reduce it. One thing I did in the previous years was, for example, every Ramadan at least, I delete my Facebook on purpose. So even if I'm using it, like now, if I'm using it 10 minutes throughout the day or something.
So you turn it back on Eid?
Yeah, that's when Shaitan's released.
Oh yes, of course. Yeah. I mean, you have to please everyone.
These are baby steps I would take.
Yeah.
So that I'm not wasting any time whatsoever.
Yeah.
Try to engage in good activity. Yeah. Baby steps like that makes a huge difference.
You know what? One massive question, right? You know, like Facebook, is it really needed? WhatsApp, I would say, is needed because
WhatsApp, it's a means of communication.
But Facebook,
no, not needed. I use it generally to look up for, at times, if I'm looking for any talks. Many times I have so many videos saved of recitations or a Nazi or something. If I like, I'll download it straight away. I've put it in there. So I can listen to it whilst I'm driving or whilst I'm sat doing something. I can play in the background.
Can you Google
think
it?
It's needed.
Huh?
I think it's needed. It's a new means of spreading the word of Islam. So, for example,
But I don't use it for that purpose. So people that know me, they know I've never used my Facebook for preaching the deen. I've never used it.
You know, you have to look at
it's a personal private account I have.
Yeah.
And I have so many friend requests in thousands. I do not accept anyone unless I personally know them. You know, Facebook keeps bringing up friends of friends, and their friends and friends. Maybe you have seen somebody's face somewhere. He wants to be your friend. Do you want to be his friend?
Went to school with someone.
I'll delete.
Went to primary school with someone. Went to a nursery with someone.
Yeah. Even, you know, your contact that you have in your phone.
Yeah.
They link it to somebody on Facebook.
Saqib, what you're doing? Stop laughing. Saqib is smiling. Okay,
I don't think he has one, that's why.
do you
have one? See,
Fitna book, innit? Not Facebook.
Is YouTube needed? Is it needed?
I think it's needed. I think there's more benefit.
Come on, you can't pick and choose.
No. The reason is, you know, on YouTube, how is it needed? I would go for something 5 minutes on YouTube, but with Facebook, there's other attractions there. With YouTube, what it is, there's less attractions.
It's the same. It's the way you use Facebook. It depends on the pages you follow. Yeah. A lot of the pages I follow, they are from a secular background.
Can you block stuff out as well?
Completely block everything you want.
Okay, actually,
you have a lot more control now.
Somebody, a relative of mine, created a Facebook for me because I wasn't creating one. And said the whole world's got it. So he blocked out everybody. So I don't know what the password is anymore. But the thing is, at least I can claim to have Facebook in the modern age.
The documentary that we watched, okay, just to let the viewers know, is on Netflix. The documentary, okay.
What was it called?
They make children in school watch that documentary now.
Ajah.
Yeah,
to awareness of the addiction.
They're making children watch it because the use of Facebook and the social media is resulting in children killing themselves.
Children commit suicide because they take it so seriously. They've never seen anything like this. So,
no, I'll give you. I commented on a person's thingy post. Okay. I did not know of how many people found out that I had commented until Hafiz told me the flan person has seen you. I thought just by me commenting, no one would know.
We want
the whole world knows. The whole world is watching.
I was shocked that what's going on here.
Yeah, then after that, you got a drilling from me.
Yeah.
Okay. Point being, what we did today. Was go on social media. Okay. You know, like we can't really see the audience, so the audience can see the both of you, not me, and neither Saqib. But when I look at Saqib and I make a comment, his smile shows we're in the right direction. He's the technician, yeah. And when he's looking a bit bored, I think, you know what, we got to change the subject here, right? Okay. But
the documentary is called The Social Dilemma.
Yes.
Oh yes. Oh yeah.
Everybody should watch that one. The Social Dilemma.
Yeah.
Some of the examples given: the ex-CEO of Facebook and Twitter and Google, they're all on there because they're now ex-CEOs. Yeah. Now they've come out to explain how we
made our money
to be addictive. Yeah. And now they're building awareness.
Yeah. Example, why did they kick us out? We're gonna get you back.
Those people.
You could say so.
Those people who made these things. Don't use them themselves.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
they know it's wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, one other thing regarding we talked about Fajr and we hit onto the social media at the end.
You'd be surprised not how many people. There was a message. You pray your namaz. Yeah. Straight after your namaz, you've got to pick your phone up because you're waiting to receive the message of acceptance. Yes, your namaz has been accepted.
That happened. We went to Methil on Saturday. You know, we went to Methil. After that, we went to a friend of yours, his house, and we read namaz. And the guy next to me, I think he opened the phone. Right.
He straight away picked the phone up.
Straight away picked the phone up. He's using it. His brother opened the screen and said, "Here you go, message from the phone. Your namaz has been accepted."
Subhanallah. In the past, the awliya and the Sahaba, like Hazrat Ali radiallahu anhu, is known that he used to read one ayah of Surah Fatiha and then he was silent, and until he heard that ayah was accepted, he would not go on to the next ayah. Yeah. And I think one of the problems that we have now, this is why I was suggesting to somebody earlier on regarding the ihya, is, you know, we should talk a bit more, maybe on one podcast. We should have an entire podcast on something like this. And the reason I wanted to bring this up is part of what I did today, which was this. And I was thinking about it, and I was thinking maybe we should have a meeting after the podcast, but why not now? So, which is this. I was thinking of a title, because I know you guys gonna. Now, the meeting started now. So, I was thinking, of a title for it, and there was one thing which came to my mind, and if the viewers want to comment on this, and whether we should do it and how we should do it, which is this, that the title was, I don't exist, but I'm seeing Allah. Yeah.
Okay. Some other day then.
Yeah.
Okay, let me tell you what I did.
No, hold on. Hold on. One last comment on that. What does that really mean? It means that, because we feel that our existence is that important, like our personal existence, our selfish existence, that we take up all our time regarding how to make ourselves happy and satisfied, But if we say that we don't really exist in the sense that how Allah exists, then we think, wait a minute, what does Allah want from us? It flips the other way. And that is such an important mindset. One person rang me up today and said, I commit like particular sins. How do I get rid of the sins? And the same answer is you have to switch your mindset. Now, the next part, saying that I am seeing Allah, meaning that the hadith, Jibreel, that worship Allah as if you're seeing Him. If not, know that He sees you. With that regarding, everybody goes on to the second one. But what about the first one? What does that actually mean? Meaning that even when you feel that Allah is watching you, you will still sometimes block Allah out and commit the sin or waste time on social media or whatever. But how about doing it the other way around? Like if you're looking at the screen, like you're not saying that the screen is Allah or whatever else, that haram or whatever, and looking at Allah, but you think as if I'm seeing Allah, like as if,
Because hadith also كأنك. As if. كأنك تراه. As if He's watching you. Like what was that?
No, as if you're seeing Allah.
Sayings be mentioned by Imam Ghazali in his Ihya Ulum, right, in Babul Ilm. When you read the first bab, this is where he's indicating towards, because I've read it. He goes in a lot of detail in about existence. Does everything exist or not?
Yes.
Okay. In Babul Ilm, if you read it, he goes in a lot of detail. I tried to read the first 3-4 pages, then I gave up. I said, this guy has gone too deep. One, you need an ustad with you, and second of all, even to understand it, you'll take a lot of time.
But what I'm saying is how about taking the picture away from ourselves, and as if it were, get the context right, picturing Allah. In other words, as if I'm seeing Allah. In that sense.
That's for namaz.
No. The point is, when you practice that in namaz, you're supposed to do it outside of namaz. That's the whole point. Not just in namaz. So if we're doing it outside, in other words, would I look at Facebook stuff that I'm not supposed to look at as if I'm seeing Allah? Would I use those same eyes? You're
making the viewers scared now.
No. Meaning that one of the problems is. Hold on. One of the problems is this is social media. What are you talking about? We're on social media. So one of the problems is that we become too literal. We've lost, like somebody was early on talking about spirituality. Is it just a feeling? What is spirituality? Does it really exist? What's ihsan? We added it. So what is ihsan, etc. So the problem is that because people don't understand something, they don't want to look into it. Why not look into it? So inshallah, that's something for another time, just to see, because I really feel that if we keep on talking about concrete stuff, we really lose the, I wouldn't say philosophical, I'd rather say the spiritual stuff. There's no balance there.
The actual essence. We lose out on the essence.
We lose out actually on like the heart of Islam, the essence, the ihsan. Inshallah. So that's fine. One other thing, Saqib, how far are we down the line in time?
Are you really that bored?
No, I'm not bored. It's
25 minutes.
25 minutes,
We're
right?
going to try to be strict with timing 1 hour.
We're going to be, yeah. So therefore, I don't want to, share something which
what
is
I
gonna,
was working on today, something, again, one of my favorite social subjects. Yeah. Not children. Today was to do with a young man who's been alleged of domestic violence.
Mhm.
He was kicked out from his home about 12 months ago, more than 12 months ago. And now, just in the last week, I've been supporting him. Yesterday, entire day I spent with him. Took him to the police station. He had a court hearing. All of this was happening, and he was released.
This is the one that I text you. Oh, right.
That's why
Because he disappeared. Somebody asked
was
me in
not
the
able to
community, where
respond.
is he? And I said,
The
I
reason why
don't know. I'll ask
I didn't know
you.
where he was.
Oh, you didn't know either.
I didn't know because I
Okay.
dropped him off at the police station yesterday at 3 p.m.
Okay.
They took him in for an interview, but they took him into custody. So they handcuffed him, took him away. They kept him there till 3 a.m. for 12 hours.
Right.
And he came home for 4 a.m.
Okay.
And they've taken his phones off him because they're investigating his phones as well, because some of the allegations are that he's threatened his ex-wife over the phone. Now, this poor man, he barely uses a phone.
Right.
And he's been threatened, that he had been threatening his ex-wife over Instagram and Facebook, that I'm going to beat you up and I'm going to do this.
He's not that type, because I met the guy.
I know. He's so innocent in that sense.
He's just so simple.
So that's what I was working on. And it's shocking how people are actually doing that.
The solicitor help out as well.
Solicitor's doing his bit,
Okay.
but not that one. There's another one on board.
Okay.
Who's his criminal solicitor.
Ah, okay.
But this is just one of the examples I've seen for somebody who's close to me. And there's a family relative that's experiencing the identical scenario. Yeah, where it's men are being accused of domestic violence when nothing has happened. It's as if women are using this as a weapon to take down men. And the law, of course, as soon as you mention DV, as in domestic violence, straight away they're on your case. There's no, they don't hold back. The law will come at you in its full force as soon as you mention domestic violence. And there are no proven cases at all. Nothing's proven at all. No evidence at all. But he's been taken in. That this poor man went in through so much trauma in the last few days because he was unsure what's going to happen. 2 weeks ago, police knocked onto his door and saying, look, if you don't hand yourself in, we're going to knock your door in at 3 a.m. in the morning. So I then took him to the police station. But the police station was closed. So I rang him. I'm sat outside and I rang him, look, we're here to give a statement. Can somebody take us in? And they said no. And they took my details, took his details and said, we'll make contact with you and an officer will come out to you, reach out to you. No contact for 2 weeks. For those 2 weeks, he's experienced so much mental stress I've seen him go through. Because of that insecurity, not knowing what's going to happen. I could be locked up. Is somebody going to knock onto my door? Somebody going to take me in?
That's a bad state to be in.
Really difficult.
Yeah.
Then we had his hearing yesterday. After the hearing, the solicitor advised that, just go in, give yourself into custody. Took him in, and what's also alarming is the way he was treated there. So he was not given permission to do wudu, even though that's from a religious point of view that should be given. He was not given a musalla. And the reason for that was because they believed because of COVID and whatever, we can't provide a musalla. They gave him a duvet and said, look, pray on top of there. On a duvet. He goes, fair enough. No water for tahara. And no food was given for 12 hours. He was with them from 3 p.m. till 3 a.m.
Well, the solicitor's got a case then, hasn't he?
I asked the solicitor, can we not put in a formal complaint? He goes, we'll have to look into it. But
Okay.
they asked him, do you eat halal, non-halal? He said halal. But it wasn't followed up at all.
Oh, dear. Right.
But the case is ongoing. The point being, now these 2 cases, one of a family member and one of this really close friend of mine, both being accused of domestic violence. And in both cases, we know, I know all too well that it's family members in the background that are pushing these women to take on a single parenting responsibility and think we'll support you forever and you can pull it off.
Yeah, you got your benefits, you got your police protection, you got your council
this
house.
system
You got child
I
custody.
strongly argue, and I have mentioned
You got
maybe before as well.
finances from him as well. Why do you need anybody on top of
Exactly,
you? But then
because
what happens in these
so much
cases?
independence is given.
Yeah.
It gives them the confidence that, look, they'll provide me with a house, they'll provide me with finance. Why do I need money in my life?
Well, one lady rang me up. She said, my sisters, my mum, they were all encouraging me. He's this and he's that. And when I left him, they left me.
They left as well. This is what they don't realize.
Yeah.
Now, in both cases, the instigator or the one that's pushing this forward is their mothers. Now, mothers are not going to be there forever.
According to some divorce rates, one of the biggest reasons why people get divorced, the top few reasons is parents of either party.
Parents and finance.
Yeah, finance comes second. But
Two major.
Yeah,
In both cases, I can confirm it's parents. But what are the parents going to achieve from this? Look, you got him married. Now, in one the one with the family relative, they've been married for 20 years. And the maybe more, and the family friend, this friend of mine, he's been married 2 years. In both cases, the parents are pushing that you separate, take a divorce, move out. Both have children. And I've argued this with yourself as well, and maybe on a podcast as well. One of the reasons for the quick decline in moral and religious character of the current generation is single parenting.
You know, in Birmingham,
they can't pull it off. It's not possible.
Near Hockley Flyover near there in Birmingham, they've got an organisation called the Battered Husbands Association.
The Battered Husbands?
The Battered Husbands
we didn't
Association,
want
yeah. So the thing is, yeah, absolutely. Because in the fact I saw... Oh no, it's not fun. So you know, I saw something on YouTube. This way, YouTube comes in useful. And on YouTube, it was men who came out and were saying that some were obviously you can't see, others, you know, they changed their voices, but they came out to say that, you know, we were actually beaten. And you know, like when the interview asked, like, you know, you're a man or you hit it, say I was never taught to hit a woman. Yeah. Like since I was a kid, it was like we were taught by our parents, you don't hit a woman, that kind of thing. And plus, I'm not a violent guy. And another one said, okay. Now you mentioned the case. I just mentioned like a few of them. Number one,
I just triggered you.
Yeah, you just triggered me. Number one, there was what we call sexual harassment of a guy at work who was married, happily married, and the boss.
Some that where the man has been raped, men have been raped. Yeah, that's happening as well. People think that women will get raped, but that's the opposite as well. It
does take place
to help men who've been raped.
Yeah. I mean, you get manipulated. You know, I'm not going to give you a good reference if you leave the job. I've got secretly recorded something. Yeah, in that kind of fashion, stuff like that.
Against you, of course.
Absolutely.
I understand.
There's cases where, you know, I'm not going to say here because we got mothers, wives, sisters, daughters as well, but we're not going to make the women out to be like the bad luck, because the other way round it happens more often than this way round. Yeah, we do admit that statistic wise as well, but because this is now also on the rise, and because of the country that we live in,
it's more on the rise in the Western countries.
Yeah, of course, because of the laws.
At least because of the benefit system we have here and the support, social support you get, it gives women just more the reason to just walk out of their marriage life.
Well, here's some really good advice for women, really good advice. You know, just like you do not want somebody on top of you, then when your children grow up, they don't want anybody on top of them. I know so many women, in fact, the vast majority of women who have been separated or divorced, even if it wasn't their fault, because now the strong man, the husband, is out of the picture. I mean, mums are, you know, you can commit murder and get away with it, you know, the walkover in that sense, though you shouldn't do that. But so the children, they don't want anybody on top of their heads either. There's no way she can control them. Yeah, I have mums ringing me up saying, you know, he's coming back 4 o'clock in the morning, or in fact some mums have actually sent me to a park because they think he was seen there before the police get there, you get there, because he skipped school again.
See, I was mentioning this maybe in the last weekend class, which I was teaching in Victoria Park, because Hafiz Fahim is gone. I was mentioning there's only so much a mother can do. There's only so much tarbiyah a mother can give. Sharan speaking as well, it's the right of the mother to do tarbiyah up till the child becomes baligh or baligha. Beyond that, it's the father's responsibility to do the tarbiyah of the child. Generally, we have seen that separation takes place around the age when children now start to become mature. Yeah, it could become earlier as well, but generally speaking, and now the mother wants to take full responsibility. She doesn't realize that there's only so much input she can have in his life. How he interacts with other men, he can only see that through a male figure in the house.
Yeah.
Not with the woman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like as a father could never do the upbringing of a daughter because he can't teach her how to interact with other women.
Yeah.
But why do women believe so strongly that they can teach him how to become a man when she's not a man herself?
Yeah.
So how he conducts his, let's say, financial affairs, how does he carry himself?
Yeah.
How to build your own character, your own status in the community, you will learn by taking lead of your father. Because the way he interacts, the way he deals with people, the way he calls people into his house, and he meets, he greets, he's building relationships. A son sees that directly from his father, and he builds on that in his lifetime. When the fatherly figure is absent, now he becomes an animal.
Even
now he's going to do whatever is pleasing to the nafs. And naturally, we mentioned this a few weeks ago.
Given by our Sufia is a lion in the midst of a sheep. Sheep will mentally turn into a sheep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, when he lives amongst lions, he'll become a lion.
He will mentally become like a sheep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even child psychologists in the UK, they say every child is half of the child is mum, his personality or her personality, half of it is dad. Yeah. And if you take any half personality out, what you're left with? Yeah.
And that's why we are seeing half-baked personalities.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And when these kids are now roaming around the streets in the evenings, many times you can locate it back to single parenting, where the mother has a control up till he's about maybe 13, 14.
Yeah.
But once he hits 15, 16, and then the day he enters college, he gets that independence for 8 to 9 hours a day. He comes home thinking, I don't need my mother.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's mother going to do now?
Yeah.
Now he can go out. Like I was mentioning that if he comes late one day and the dad's at home, dad will pick his slipper up and slap him up. And next day he'll come home on time. Mother cannot physically. You know what I mean? But mother cannot physically do that.
I know so
she
many
won't
cases,
pick that slipper up. She can't.
Many cases in Kuba, with the imam there, where the single mother has come to me and said, how should I help my son? She wants her son to become a Hafiz al-Quran, but because she's single mother, she's like, what can I do? 3 mean same, add a student there, same example. The student doesn't listen to the mum. She's all
like
alone.
you said, it's half-baked characters, like Khaliba is saying. She can't do much. But this is why Islam... let's suppose in these cases, the husband was at fault and he separated. Let's suppose a divorce or something. In that case, women would do what? They'd take advantage of the social care we have here and not attempt to get married again. Yeah? Whereas Islam promotes at the moment she has done her waiting, her iddah, she should start to look actively for a spouse. Who would take responsibility. Her financial care and the well-being of her children. He plays a fatherly figure. But generally these cases, there's, marriage after divorce is not promoted whatsoever.
Yeah, massive problem.
Big problem. And then it results to single parenting, the decline of the moral character of the children. They then, when they become parents, they've only ever seen their mother. They've never seen the conduct of a father. So when he becomes a father, he's completely oblivious of what his responsibilities
Feminist characteristics. Yeah.
That's all you
Saqib,
see.
how much time do you have? 15 minutes, right. I just wanted to say something which is...
in regards to that,
it's a huge problem.
There's a problem with parents being together as well, where if you're just going to make someone happy, the child, give him everything that he needs, whenever he asks for it, you give it. Now that leads to consequences. For example, I know a person who did that with their child. Okay, the child went for university. He went to university and now he's become a transgender. This is the actual case I'm giving right now. This is the consequence of parents just giving everything to the
complete
child.
freedom.
Complete freedom. Whenever they want, whomever they want, whatever they want is given.
Just give it to
You know, it goes back to, because Saki said we got about 15 minutes or so. I didn't want to erupt this, but I suppose we could do it for 15 minutes. You know, it goes back to a root cause, and we don't look at the root cause, and the root cause is...
So this is, we want to know all your experience you've had in the community working, yeah?
In the community.
Yeah.
So
let's pour it out. Share it with us.
So the root cause. So the root cause is really a grudge.
Between who?
Any it could be siblings, it could be a husband, wife, it could be parents, children. So they hold this grudge inside of them. Now this grudge is very serious, though they think that, oh, is it, you know, like it might be temporary, it might go away, but actually it doesn't go away, it actually grows. So what happened is like I've known families who were happy, you know, like husband, wife, got married. Sometimes they have tiffs here and there, but that's just normal. Children, as they're growing up, some difficult times, some easy times, but generally things are running really well. And then I was called to a family last weekend, like emergency in the night. I said, what's the emergency? Oh, you know, there was one person trying to kill another one in the family. Said, okay, so basically come round now. So I went round. And what was the problem? They said we were all happy before. Like they were saying, we were happy before. What went wrong now? Yeah. And what happened was there was these little small grudges that people kept in their hearts against others, and without realizing it kept on growing. So anything that the other family member, or take this amongst friends or anybody, yeah, take this in the muqtadis in a masjid, anywhere, absolutely, or a workplace, yeah, or school, college, etc., university, yeah. Masjid is a masjid, should be a masjid. With another masjid. Okay, fair enough. Astaghfirullah. Both Allah's houses. Acha. So what you find is that little grudge that comes, it actually begins to grow. So when the other person acts in a certain way, automatically your mind goes, he did this because of this. The grudge is growing even more now. Yeah. And you thought, I mean, what is a grudge? It's something simple that you can just squish initially if you wanted to. Now, how do you squish it? Very easy. Be nice to the other person, smile, hug, you know, eat together, handshakes. Yeah.
Open up, speak about it.
No, I'm going to say something else.
Unless you don't speak about it.
No, I'm going to say something else.
Building on it.
I think is a problem if you speak about it.
Why? Unless I don't share what's in my heart.
Yeah.
Of course, in a nice, polite, understandable manner.
Yeah.
Then, of course, I believe the quicker you share that, get it off your chest, the better it is for you.
I'm going to say something so dismal now. Somebody's going to switch off.
What Khalid is saying, I think I'll agree to you.
Or at least I speak for my...
to some extent, because I've seen people where the grudge was small and it was over a very small thing.
Yeah.
And what happened was that grudge then turned into hatred. Okay.
But it must have taken some time.
Okay. And then what happened was along the way, other things happened.
Hatred to damage. Now,
how
do I damage?
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, that grudge doesn't become hatred overnight. It takes many months
if
or
you
years.
have a meeting over it.
Okay. Now, what I'm saying is, as soon as it's building, before it takes over your nafs, speak about it.
Yeah.
Let loose.
Okay, I'm gonna like I said, say something really sad and depressing now.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. This is just real life. The majority of the cases that we've come across, we used to say to people, we don't do anymore. We used to say to people, if you have a small problem, then have a sit down meeting over it amongst friends and family, and it'll get rid of.
It, yeah.
Oh dear God. Now this is where the dua the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said the greatest weapon a Muslim has is dua, and I truly really believe in that, because we have lost the talent of having a simple meeting over a little grudge. When these people sit down to have a meeting, the grudge grows because arguments develop. They do not know how to communicate with one another. So then I'm thinking, you know, the best thing to do is instead of having the little meeting on the little grudge, instead of that, don't have the meeting. Just be okay with one another, and the majority of the times they become okay. No, it disappears. It disappears. Like one person, I'll give you one example.
Very strong to constantly remain positive.
No, I'll tell you why.
I'll
tell you how it works. If you having a meeting is good with somebody that you're not going to see often.
10 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. See often. Yeah. But if somebody is in your face all the time, a family member, muqtadi in the masjid, a friend, a neighbor, don't have the meeting. Yeah. It'll automatically disappear. Yeah, and it'll not over time, but very fast.
I guess some will disappear, some won't.
These are the cases. Yeah,
those that don't, what do you do about them?
Yeah, okay, those okay, fair enough, meeting or something that those that don't. But one really important thing is we've lost the art of having a meeting. That's my point. We've lost the art of sitting down and having a discussion, a heart-to-heart discussion. You know, in the old days we used to say, "Oh, I had a heart-to-heart with some person." Now it's I had a head-to-head with some person.
In that case, why do you not do what the Sunnah describes? And we have in Sharia, there's a chapter.
Yeah,
that's Babul Hakam.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Or which we in Urdu would say a thalith.
Yeah.
A third individual, a prominent figure, somebody that we both look up to.
Yeah.
Rather than having like all your friends over to discuss that one small point.
Yeah.
Which will lead into a big argument.
Okay.
Have a Hakam, a thalith.
Yeah.
Who just 1, 2, and that third person.
Hakam Thalis, listen to this bit.
And he decides.
So many people have asked, do you have such a person? And the majority of people say no. I said, no Tayabu, no Dadabu, no, absolutely no.
An elderly. Hold on. Can it be
There's
a friend?
nobody any further. Even if it's a friend, it's not those people. You know, we don't have that gravity in our personality anymore to be influential people.
Come on.
No, you don't.
You do. Look,
I mean,
if you've done something wrong, for example,
I'll give you an example. What happened last year in Pakistan? Okay, this is an example which I think Khalid.
Sorry for depressing everyone. Okay, it's a lost cause.
Right. The example that happened last year in Pakistan, the ikhtilaf that started from Pakistan.
Yeah.
It could have been sorted over one small meeting.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's
okay.
No, it is relevant. Why? Because the ikhtilaf was actually a grudge from beforehand. It was actually a grudge from beforehand that they couldn't take it that one person has become so popular.
But they never had a Hakam Thalith. That's the problem.
That's exactly what Khalid was saying.
In that case, okay, they were because both are lead scholars
leaders,
and who are they going to accept beyond them?
Now, how's that? I'm going to say something.
Over
here, everybody's a leading scholar. Everybody's a leader. Even your 10-year-old is a leading scholar. Everybody's got an opinion, a view.
You can be
every man, woman, and child is a lost cause.
Every family now think that they are the leader.
Every single person in the family is the leader.
Yes.
So the problem is ego. It's not anything else, then, isn't it?
It is. But I'm looking at exactly what in the ego is it, because that's a general term.
Behind the ego, you're saying there's a grudge.
There is and it's a little thing. It's such a minute thing. And the Prophet ﷺ says, say you and I have a grudge.
Okay.
You and I have a grudge. You said to me, do this, doc, and I don't do it. Okay. Yeah. Then you say to me, do this, doc, and I don't do it next week, next month, next year. Okay. Then you're going to think, what the, so then what you're going to do, you're going to have this little grudge. Yeah. This person, me, I'm just careless. Yeah. So what you do is you come to me. What do you do? You smile, you hug, you handshake. Let's go and eat some food together somewhere. All right. Isn't that the sunnah? It actually, what is the sunnah? It actually relieves the heart. It makes it calm. You actually forget those things. It's when people don't follow that sunnah of like eating with one another or handshaking.
If you look at it,
yeah.
The famous hadith when the first hadith command of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Medina Munawwara. After salam, there are 4 stages to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
After salam,
yeah,
do salam first.
Yeah.
At least don't disconnect to an extent when you can't do salam.
Absolutely.
After having salam, wa'atimu ta'am.
Yeah.
Have food together.
Yeah.
Because it helps release so much tensions.
Absolutely.
Wasilul arham, and now make active approach to making that bond.
Yes.
And then sallu bil layli wa nasu niyam, and then pray during the nights for that brother.
Absolutely.
Tadkhul jannata bi salam. You'll enter paradise with peace.
Yeah.
Four aspects to it: salam, food, active approach towards making with that brother,
Yeah.
sister, whoever it may be, uncle, auntie, yeah, and then making dua.
Making dua. Absolutely.
Many times we miss. If one of those 4 factors is missing, you're not gonna get there.
Yeah, and
The
this is
dua
really
one of the most
important.
powerful ones.
It is.
'Cause we-
It is. Yeah.
We mentioned this a few weeks back.
Yeah.
It's so difficult to make dua for someone you don't get along with.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But that dua goes a long way. And Sophia mentioned one of the ways to get rid of a grudge in your heart
Yeah.
is to make dua for that person.
Yeah. We went into detail on that
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Just make
yeah.
dua for that person.
People
Yeah.
do bad dua.
Yeah.
That's still dua.
No, that's not bad dua. Come on.
That is
That's a
dua.
curse. That's a curse.
That's a curse.
Yeah. In English, it makes more sense. A
Yeah.
prayer and a curse.
Yeah.
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 We don't want to
Five
be cursing. We want to make dua.
Fine, it's not.
Okay,
you-
help me here in this case then. If you're saying it's a grudge, husband or wife, only married 2 years, got a child, got
Do you
a
remember
daughter.
when you mentioned this case to me first? I said, is there any chance, and the solicitor was there as well, is there any chance of the husband and wife having a meeting together? That's why I said it. Because they could have
So are you telling me it was because of a grudge?
the husband and wife should have ran away from both the families, all the friends, and lived on some east coast somewhere where nobody knows them, and watch things will change. It's because of the influence of other people
So
around.
it's not always grudge then, is it?
No, meaning
It's
meaning
external influences.
yeah, it is. But the even external influences give grudge. Like, for example, I went to a certain masjid once. And there was the Imam Saab was saying to one muqtadi that, that other muqtadi doesn't like you. And I was thinking, right, okay, now there's Ghiba,
He's not an
there's
imam then, is he?
Botan, and there's something called Namima. Yeah, and I said to him, that's Namima. He goes, what? What's Namima? So the point is, acha, that muqtadi ran up to the other muqtadi who's in, and he said, do you not like me? Now, he said, of course I like you. Now, he had good manners not to say the Imam told me, but still it remained in his heart. Do you understand
See,
how
that's-
this
that's
disease...
very bad
yeah,
practice.
so now think about it. So this girl, this wife, her parents are saying certain things about her husband, with whether they're true or not. But what happens is it's building up. That thing is building up. Yeah, it's very. I'm telling you, this is. We're talking about all the bad stuff. Okay, one thing.
This is what the public needs
But
to hear, I
a
believe.
disease, let me tell you about this massive disease. It's such a massive disease. Yeah. Okay. Well, he gave you 4 solutions to that, but here's okay. One massive disease. The massive disease is when one person says something about another person in the community now, in the Muslim community, we tend to believe it. Yeah. And then sometimes we say, no, it may not be true. We say with our tongues, but deep in our mind, we actually think it may be true. Now, I'm going to give the solution to that.
Another issue with that is in our community, well, wider community,
Yeah.
is I might have a grudge against you,
Uh-huh.
and I'll announce on Facebook.
Yeah. In other words, you get your group of friends and family,
Yeah.
oh, you should
put
also
on
have a
Facebook-
grudge.
you put on Facebook
Yeah.
that flan person is doing this.
Yeah, like 2 people divorce. Well, they divorced. Like their 2 families shouldn't divorce. In other words, the parents of both should still be okay with it, but it's
I
not
don't
heard
think
of.
you
But
can
here's
solve
a
that.
solution. Here's a solution. Yeah.
Especially if it's Vatasata.
What's English for that?
I don't know why.
Throwing stones.
Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Astaghfirullah. Okay. The solution. How much minutes have we got?
2.
Oh my God, we got 2 minutes. I forgot the solution.
Yeah.
I'm under pressure here. What was the solution? You spoke
Come
too
on, you
quick.
should be performing
Okay,
your best.
So
pressure.
no, I'm so tired today. I'm unbelievable. Acha, so
worry.
I was talking about
Yeah,
what was
what
I
did you do
talking about?
today?
The 2
You
people.
never told us yet.
Oh my God, you guys never gave me the chance. Anyway, next time, inshallah. What did I do last week? So so what did I just say? Jog everybody's memory. Somebody comment, please. All of us are losing our minds. So yeah, it's just because. Okay, here's the solution. The solution is just remember this phrase. It's a brilliant solution. Just because somebody says something about someone, it doesn't mean that it's true. If you repeat that in your mind a few times, so somebody has come to you. I mean, I was at a particular function in another city on Saturday, and I said, how's such a Maulana Sahib in the city? He said, he's the biggest rip-off. He's done this much in the last 20 years. I'm going to take him to court and you're going to see it on the news. And I thought, oh, right, wait a minute. That Maulana Sahib is such a nice guy. I said to him that I've seen the books which he printed. I mean, these guys have got it here as well. He's done so much good work. I've known him for a long time. He's such a nice guy. And so now the thing is, ulama are considered, and ulama have a big job to do. They're considered to be role models, and when the community are saying that, you think maybe he's got a personal grudge, and then another friend came and said, you know what, some of what he's saying is true, some of it obviously may not be true, but my point is this: repeat that in your mind, like your role models, we're even breaking down we're even breaking down our role models.
Now look, Quran also touches on this, that when a news is brought to you,
investigate.
Investigate it. That means do not believe it straight away. Hence what you're saying, that don't believe everything that you hear, may it be on social media, maybe through families and friends, until you go and investigate it, see that was it genuinely said or not. And then the context it was said in could be completely taken out of.
Absolutely.
That's why that documentary that we talk about, the social dilemma, fake news has been such a thing.
It's a big thing.
They predicted countries may go to war against each other.
And it's happened.
I mean,
it's happened, hasn't it, in the last 20 years?
In the previous elections, Trump, the way he was voted, one of the biggest scams that have come out now, it was all pushed through social media. With that support. There's so much you can do.
I mean, with 9/11, obviously, this
is around the corner now.
So, but with 9, because it's around the corner. No, he's around the corner. He's already turned the corner.
Around the hour.
Okay. So I have to mention it.
Go for it.
With 9/11, seriously, there were some people from Pakistan, businessmen who used to go to Kabul and do business with those people, with the Taliban there. They said that Taliban were shocked that have we got that much power to knock down the Twin Towers?
Whoa.
They didn't even. They said, wow. They actually probably thought, wow. But no, in fact, they were upset that obviously civilians died. Even Muslims died in that as well. But what I'm saying is, look, fake news. What's it? Okay, they got massive oil fields. No, they got Saddam Hussein's got nuclear arms there. And when they went, they found nothing.
After 8 years, they said we found nothing.
So where's Blair and the rest of them? So Bush and etc. So
if you read into it, UN sent an investigation team. Before they even got back with the reports, the army had already been dispelled, and the crackdown had begun in Iraq. You had even held them responsible. I mean, how dare you do such?
This is a cartoon made in 1994.
Allahu Akbar. Right. Okay.
I'm not going to show it to the viewers.
Okay.
That's a lot of conspiracy out there. Whether we believe it or whether we don't, I believe it's got nothing to do with us. Now,
the big solution.
The damage has already been done.
Absolutely. The big solution is this. First of all, obviously, we sometimes said that we will mention that all the views that are expressed on this channel, they're not necessarily the views of the producing team. So we're allowed to openly, it's a free country, say your views as well. And we try to do it with respect for everyone as well. We're humans, we can make mistakes. But one solution, not to leave the people in hopelessness, because hopelessness is not good in Islam. Somebody asked me early on today, saying I've got this problem, going on and on problems. So what is the solution? Now I'm supposed to remember all those problems, and I said, he said, what's it? And I said, Allah. And he said, Allah.
That is the ultimate solution.
And the person walked away saying, Allah. When a person who is broken-hearted says Allah, when they say, it affects the people around them. And I felt it in my heart.
The hadith says that the dua of the Muslim shakes the throne of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Look at that.
Directly.
Wow.
And people of a heart feel the impact of that dua there and then.
Subhanallah.
And the heartless don't feel it.
Subhanallah. Thank God I got a heart then. I realize now.
So you have
okay,
got a heart.
mashallah, jazakum al for that. It makes me
happy. You feel the impact there and then.
Subhanallah.
As soon as he uttered those words, like you're saying, you felt the impact. that's if it can shake the throne of Allah, why would it not shake in your heart?
Wow, absolutely, absolutely. So, in other words, viewers, sabak for all of us, a lesson for all of us. We should not be zalim. We should not be zalim, because then you
Allah la yuflihu al-zalimun.
Subhanallah.
Allah shall never make the zalim succeed.
Yeah, and the Prophet ﷺ said to the Sahaba, help the oppressor and help the oppressed and help the oppressor. And they said, we know about helping the oppressor, but how do we help the oppressed?
It's actually the opposite way.
Is it? So how do we help the how do we help the oppressor? We help the oppressor by stopping him, giving him guidance.
No,
yeah. The thing is, we don't do that anymore. People say, when you go to somebody for help these days, a lot of people say, I wonder what's in it for me.
Because
how am I going to benefit?
Amr bil Maruf is easy.
Yes.
But Nahi Munkar is the one that's
very
difficult.
Very difficult. Very
Actually,
difficult.
Speaking up against what's wrong. And remember reading quotations, and we come across so many, that worse than the oppressor is the one that keeps silent when he sees the oppression taking place.
Yeah.
He's more at fault because he had the power, let's suppose, to...
Imam Malik says that person is the Gunga Shaitan, the silent Satan.
Yeah.
Shaitanun akhras.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He sees wrong, but
He doesn't speak up.
And viewers, obviously, and I know there's some non-Muslim viewers as well. Obviously, this is Islam, but look, even Einstein said this, that the fault lies not with the people who are committing the act, but with those who stay silent when it's been committed. And I also read that he died as a Muslim. But and also, yeah, no, I read.
If he's just read it from one of the works of Imam Malik, then he's cheated basically.
Yeah, he copied. You know, like we don't need to reinvent the cycle.
No,
you know, Alhamdulillah,
everything
the Quran
is there in the Zakhira of Hadith. Everything is there.
Absolutely. They said the Quran is the revelation, the Hadith is the description, and Islamic law is the
and the Prophet
application.
Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is the manifestation of it.
No, absolutely. In fact, one of the things I really wanted to mention was in a podcast to come up, and we're sharing ideas. Sometimes we contact, what shall we talk about? And just before the podcast, we all sitting down saying, we'll talk about this.
I'll share with you. I rang Khalid yesterday and asked, Doc, what's subject tomorrow? And he goes, I don't know. We'll go with the flow.
Yeah.
Came here, sat here on the chairs, and we asked him, Doc, what's the subject? And he goes, what do we do today?
Yeah.
I'm like, is that a subject? Come on.
It's a brilliant subject, right? People like that kind of thing. But in the future, I really want, because Rabiul Awwal Sharif is coming up as well, so very soon, around the corner. And I really think that we should talk about our beloved Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. You know,
in
the most beautiful manner possible.
And all of his research, there's one thing aspect our viewers should know. Okay, the Mongols, when they came into Baghdad, they destroyed everything.
Yeah.
All of our works has been destroyed.
Oh yeah.
People don't know 1/3 of the stars are Arabic names.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this was done 1,000 years ago.
Yeah.
So imagine where the Muslims were at that time. Einstein is nothing. He was nothing. Our Ibn Khaldun and all of them, they were like beyond. Yeah,
he was the father of the historians, and
he was beyond them. Our history has been destroyed by this.
And we've only been internationally. It's like an international agenda that's been pushed.
Yeah.
Only a few selected scientists are taught in every school throughout the world.
Yeah, what was Dark Ages for Europe and the West was actually the Golden Age of Islam. That's where they all learned from.
We'll see you
Inshallah.
next week.
Inshallah. Subhanallah. Jazakum al-khair. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.